So today we're going to do a little brand new how-to on a 2012 FX4 off-road version F150. First thing you're going to do is undo the caliper. That's those two bolts right there. And that is 13 millimeter. And what I like to do is I take a screwdriver, put it right in there, put it in there between the drum, squeeze the piston a little bit. That releases the piston. We'll set that right there. And then this one is probably, let's see, $18 millimeter. So then you're gonna take those two loose. These ones are super tight. Those babies were branding tight. This is definitely out of my wheelhouse, doing this outside on the ground. We've got lifts in the shop, but they're both taken today. So, as you can see, those babies are done. Once you take this bracket off, you want to pop these out, place the clips, make sure there's no difference in the clips. Put those back in, and then we're gonna pop this drum off. And this one doesn't have, sometimes they'll have like a little bolt. This one doesn't have one, so you might have to put that in neutral and spin it. But once you get the drum off, we'll show you how to put it all back on here in a minute. So we're getting ready to put the new brakes on. We have the old brakes. All you're gonna do is you're gonna pop them out. Make sure that there's no difference on either ones. The back one's exactly the same. And then we're gonna pop out the clips. Look at the clips. There's no difference. They're exactly the same. Screwdriver. Pop those babies out. And do want to clean this off. I'm gonna get a file. Let me grab a file real quick. It's usually something we would do in the vise, but today we're winging it. You can use a brush, screwdriver, if you have a any kind of air tool, a sander, disc. Use that also. Okay, looks good. Now we're just gonna slide these babies on. Tight. Pretty tight, dude. As my dad would say, that's Guten tight. Okay, we just want to make sure they're all the way back. And then we're just gonna put the pads in there. That's pretty tight. There it goes. We just want to make sure they slide good. I'm not a big brake grease guy. When this truck was built, they didn't put that on there, and I'm not gonna put it on there. Some guys love that stuff. I've even seen people put it on the back of the brake pad. And to me, that's definitely not needed. As long as they're clean and they slide, that's what matters. Make sure they slide. And we're good. So that one's done. So this one doesn't really have a lot of the stuff on it, like they put kind of a grease film on it. This one's really not that bad, but you always want to take a little brake cleaner, put on there, clean the surface. Switch up the pad there. And then you can wipe this inside piece. And we've already checked. A little scratch in there. Let's go a little scratch. You always want to take the old rotor and match it up. That baby's life's done. She's ready for the scrap yard. So what is that doing is you're gonna check the height and also make sure everything else looks the same. And I always lay them on top of each other, which I've already checked. And this one's clean, but before I clean it, I'll lay it on top and just make sure it's exactly the same. Or you could take a tape and measure it real quick. Either way. So let's go get this on. Give me that rag. So you just want to wipe that, make sure it's clean. You're not like a lip of rust. Oh, that's good. And you want to check these inside here are your emergency brake pads, and they look good on this one. Not bad. It doesn't hurt to wash them off, blow it out, but these are good. There's not a lot of buildup in there. What there was, it's already fill out. So now you're gonna slide this on. Put a couple of these lug nuts on. These ones might be deep enough to go all the way. If not, we'll grab the other. What that does, it just holds it in place. Makes it simple to install everything else. Okay, we'll get that bracket and so when you put the bracket back on, you can get it in there, and then you can push those pads together. And then what I like to do is I'll put a little Loctite on those 2 bolts. So we're gonna put Loctite on these, put those back in the bracket, tighten those up, and then we have to compress the caliper. So we got the brake caliper, or we got the bracket on, and we got the pads in there, we got the 2 bolts tight. Now we're gonna compress the caliper. And this is just a tool you can get. This one I think actually came off a Matco truck, but you can get them online. And what you're gonna do is you're just gonna compress the brake caliper piston until it stops. And you always want to make sure that this hose is not twisted. You want to make sure it's straight. And just clean this off. Make sure the surface is clean. And make sure your slides slide back and forth. If not, you need to take them apart, grease them, clean them out. These 2 bolts, I do not put Loctite. They didn't come with Loctite. That one has so yeah, you want to make sure that that goes all the way. These ones don't have, looks like it doesn't have that weird notch on them. So yeah, again, we've got 18 millimeter on the bracket bolt, and then 13 millimeter on the little bolt. We get those tight, and that concludes the brakes on a 2012 F-150. Thanks. To be tuned.